There comes a point in everyone's life where they find someone that gives them a different perspective on life and makes them think about the way they're doing things a little differently. In my case, it's something, and that something is the Zoom F6. I've used it on shoots. I've used it on this channel exponentially. I even consider it a mascot of this channel. The Rebel Tech channel is built off the foundation of basically my 77D and the Zoom F6. These two crucial pieces of gear make up what this content is on this channel. And of course, gear can come and go, but as of right now and for the foreseeable future, I don't see these things going anywhere. Welcome back to the Rebel Tech channel. I'm Justin, and in this video we're going to be talking about, of course, the Zoom F6. Many videos and more to come about this audio device, and I'm going to just go over what I've learned, how it's impacted my career, and how it's impacted this channel. But before we get started, if you have any questions, comments, or anything whatsoever, please leave them down in the comments section down below. I'll be happy to answer any questions you guys have about the Zoom F6, about gear, tech, anything. I will be happy to talk to you about it. And if you want to ask me more directly, I stream on this channel every Saturday afternoon into the night. Possibly going to change it to Wednesday, Saturday, but that decision will be made in February, depending on how life goes in that time. And you can ask me questions there, just chat, whatever you guys want. Just make it positive, that's all I ask. And if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or anything whatsoever, please leave a like and consider subscribing. So as I said in the intro, I've had this for a year, and it really has impacted me a lot in my perspective on audio and working with audio. Mostly in the sense of being reliable and not having to worry about losing footage or losing tracks or losing anything, and really just being at a high tier of quality. And it's just really the best device, the best audio device I have ever owned. And it's going to be hard to replace it if that time does come, because I don't see it changing. I mean, of course, she's in years to come. I'm sure there's going to be tech and gear that's going to be maybe cheaper, maybe more effective, and I don't know. It's really the next group of tech and gear that I get, or possibly get, better reach up to that high tier, because the bar it's high right now, so it's got a lot to live up to. Before I sound like I'm just boasting about this thing, let's go over the things that I've learned, and it's basically a recap of all the videos that I've put out. And these videos are, of course, not just the only things that I've learned. There's plenty of videos that I have planned. There's plenty of things in the comments that I've spoken to you guys about that are part of the canon, if you will, of my knowledge of this Zoom F6. Just because, like I said, if it's not in the video, there's chances are you look in the comments, or if you just wait and see what I have planned, you'll know that I've learned so much more, and I've known more than what these videos have offered and what the comments have offered. Now let's run through that list. Basically, let's go through the simple stuff. Let's go a little bit more complex. First off, let's talk about the XLR ports. Locking XLR ports, excellent, great. I mentioned this in my first video of the Zoom F6. It's a big selling point for me, knowing that my XLR cords are not going to be yanked out, or at least not easily. You got to really yank on those things to rip it out, and you're going to damage something if you do. So locking XLR ports, and 6 of them, very cool. I know I sound like a broken record if you watched my first video, but I'm going to dig this thing home, because you can see that not all audio devices have the locking XLR, which is a huge point. Next up, the clicking of the fader knobs when they're off and turn on, and the light that goes in conjunction with that. Huge for me. It's very subtle, but it's one of those things that really goes a long way and really makes a quality device quality. Next up, as far as like the software and the internal parts of it are concerned, the menu is very easy to learn and understand. Of course, it's very intimidating when you get any piece of gear to learn a menu system or anything like that, but it's very easy once you give it like a day or two of really diving deep into it. I find things seamlessly now. Of course, I've had it for a year, but if you give it time and it's something you use regularly, you won't have a problem with it. Some other quick things as we go into like the software in the menu. If you click the check button on the main menu where the faders and all the levels are, it will go right to the PFL settings where you can adjust trim, you could adjust what type of microphone it is, if it has phantom power or if it doesn't. There are high pass filters, limiters, all types of stuff in there. It's a quick little quick key that you could press without going into the menu and having yourself a couple more clicks. So saves time and it's just easier to use. On that note, you can use the BTA1 adapter, which I highly recommend getting if you have this thing. It's just an extra $30, and if you're making the investment for this recorder, an extra $30 isn't going to kill you, especially if you got the free app that comes with it. All you gotta do is download it and you got the access on your phone or an iPad. If you're able to do it and you're not doing the boom operating while recording, like if you're the supervisor or for an example, get the iPad version if you have an iPad, because it's just bigger screen. That's all. That's pretty much it. Speaking of quick keys, when you're in the menu at any point, hold down the menu button and it goes right back to the main screen where the faders and all the levels are. One of those things, it's very subtle and it's not necessary, but it's a nice touch. It really does give you a bit of, oh, they thought of that. And to fire off a couple of quick ones, very important ones, USB-C. Everything should have USB-C now. There's no excuse anymore. If anything, it's easier to plug in because it can be put in one way and the other, and it even locks. So please, tech companies, please just invest a little extra more money and put the USB-C port in. The next thing is 32-bit float. Need I say more? 32-bit float it's as good as people make it out to be and as I make it out to be. It really just gives you peace of mind of if something goes a little awry while you're shooting, or if something was a little loud or a little quiet, you can bring it back to life in post. So sense of security. And I have a 32-bit float video where I talk about, is it making us lazy? And there's a point in it where I explain why it's a yes and a no. But go check that out after this. It's in the Zoom F6 playlist and you'll understand what I'm talking about. Last two, L-series batteries. Great option for power. And of course you got the plug-in and the AA's. I highly recommend using if you could plug it in, that's great because it's indefinite. And L-series batteries, you could get those, recharge them. I don't know how long they last, but they last a pretty long time. I've had the ones that I use for 3 years now, so something to consider. And the last one, and something I haven't mentioned since I released my original videos, is the 6-second pre-roll. Meaning once you press record, 6 seconds prior, it's already pre-rolling the record. That's not a thing anymore. At least with the firmware updates that I've put up. I'm at firmware update 1.6 right now. And for some reason, 6 is gone and there's a 3. Don't know why they did that. I'm not sure. It's very confusing. But I will dive deep into that in my 1.6 firmware update video because, to be honest, I don't remember if it was the 1.5 or the 1.6 that had happened. But when the time comes, I will be putting out a 1.6 firmware update video just explaining it. For just a little teaser, for me, I haven't really noticed the difference, but there are things that it does fix if you had those problems. Now that we've recapped everything that I've learned and most of the stuff that I've learned, there's plenty more, but those are the major ones that I've learned about this device and the things that I've used with it. Now, next thing I want to get into is how do I use it? And it's a pretty simple answer. I use it for YouTube videos. This is overkill if you're just using it for YouTube videos. Of course, it's a great option if you got the cash, but you need to understand the climate of your situation. If you're not in a situation where you're going to be making your money back with it, maybe reconsider. Of course, if you have a successful YouTube channel, sure, it's great. Perfect option. For me, I started this channel from scratch, absolutely nothing, and I've grown a lot with my viewership and with people engaging with it, but not making any cash on it. On the other hand, with my other job before the whole pandemic hit, it wasn't that long. I didn't have it that long, and I made my money back. I worked like 4 or 5 shoots, and I pretty much made my money back on it. And it was a good investment, just like when I invested in my Sennheiser. It was a good investment at the time. It's still a good investment now because I paid for that thing in about a year or so. It took me, I don't know, 5 to 10 shoots to pay for it completely. And I financed it, which was nice. And I really highly recommend financing this. That's how I got this. I paid it off $50 a month, and I financed it through Musician's Friend. I have their platinum card, and it works great. No interest for whatever they're offering, 12, 24, or whatever months. The next thing I'm going to get into is what are my favorite parts. Now, this is really just me having a good time with it, and the things that really stand out and make my life easier when it comes to creating content. Number one thing, 32-bit float. I won't bore you with 32-bit float. Everyone's known about it. Everyone knows that it's more available now more than ever. And if you want to check out more videos, that 32-bit float, like I said, video is out, and you can go check it out. If you have any questions about it, I'll gladly just answer them in the comments, or you can check me out on my stream and we could have a conversation about it. Some other things I like about it, it's small in size, easy to throw in my bag. The bag is made for it, but it's not like an F8 where it's a little clunky. It's still like a decent size, but still not this size. And this gives you a little bit more, especially with the formats. And then we have the Bluetooth adapter that gives you the app. Great option. Never had a problem with it. Overall, the device is really easy to use, and it looks pretty freaking cool. And it looks very, very good. So going on the other side of my favorites, what would I change about the Zoom F6? And this is a tough thing to talk about because it's a very cool device. It's something that I really enjoy using, and I don't want to bash it or I don't want to say anything negative about it, but to be honest, any gear has their flaws. And I've said this before, that if you go on Amazon or if you go on the reviews of things, or if you go on YouTube, people are going to find something negative about this. The big thing for the Zoom F6 is their line out noise problem. I don't really use the line out. I've tested it, and yes, there is some noise. The firmware update fixed it a little bit, but not like great. But I know that some other audio devices have the line out noise problem. So it's not a deal breaker, but it's something that maybe the hardware should be better. 2 more things that I would change. SD card slot, I would put it in a better spot, maybe something a little more accessible, not behind the L series battery. Not a big deal. You could transfer files via USB, but a lot of times when you're working, you don't want to leave your device with someone, or it's just a shoot that you were just there and you have to pop it in and out. It's not a big deal. You pop off the battery, you take out the card. It's not a big deal. It's just something that I would change, and this is being very, very nitpicky. Now, the last thing I want to get into is where am I going with this device? What do I want to do? What is the future? And I mentioned this in my Road to Rebel Tech video, where I talk about where I came from, my journey, and how I ended up here. Something that if you're interested in my life and my personal experiences, please go check that out. Be nice in the comments because it's a little personal, nothing too crazy, but it is my life and my career, so just be nice, that's all. So yeah, what I have planned, I plan on doing some more voiceover work, which includes this. I'm practicing using my voice and trying to do some exercises to allow me to do certain things. I like doing silly voices or whatever. I like talking and putting on a performance in that sense. So maybe I'll start offering up my voice to some jobs, and maybe they like it, maybe they don't. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a shot. You got one life, so if I want to try voice acting one time, sure. If it works out, cool. If not, who the hell cares? I tried. Now, one more thing before we do a little bit of an outro, and the battery gonna die. We better do this quick. Montage. We're updating the montage. The one that I did before was okay. It was just my first one that I was doing, and we gotta do this quick because here's the montage. Oh, looks like you fell asleep there. Let's give you a little wipe down there, bud. Look, good as new. See, all shiny and fancy. Hate when you fall asleep on me. So, updated montage is pretty cool. It's been nice to get back into that style of making videos, and I have some pieces of gear that I will be covering and doing more montages because I really enjoy throwing those together with the music and everything like that. That's another thing. I have so many things I want to do with this channel. If you want like a laundry list of things that I'm going to do or plan to do, tutorials, gear reviews, vocal performances possibly, and making music again, short films, and possibly even talking about my book and writing and things like that. There's a ton of things that I want to do, and I'm going to try my best to do them all. So that all being said, thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed it. Hope you learned something new. Hope it helped with the Zoom F6. Of course, you could ask me things down in the comments about the Zoom F6, about gear, anything whatsoever. Have a conversation. Just be nice and be kind down there. And if you want to talk to me or ask me questions directly, I stream every Saturday, possibly. Wednesday's coming up. If more people show up, I definitely will do a Wednesday stream. So definitely Saturday, possibly Wednesday. So keep an eye out and keep tuned into this channel to find out when I will. And as far as that stream, hour on this channel, been doing dot to dot art with the Marvel and the Spider-Man books. Really fun, very therapeutic. I listen to music, hang out with you guys. Nice conversations I've had in the past. And I switch over to Twitch about an hour or so in, and I play video games. Right now I'm playing Assassin's Creed Unity. Assassin's Creed Syndicate is going to be soon after that. And don't know what's next, but possibly BioShock. I might want to play through that series again. Just an option. If you have any suggestions of what you want to see me play or want to play together, or I have other games that we do games as a community, whatever it is, let me know. And if you found this video helpful, entertaining, or anything whatsoever, please leave a like and consider subscribing. So that all being said, be safe, be kind. If you go out, please wear a mask. Vaccines almost here for everyone. Probably the majority of the year it's going to take for everyone to be able to get it, but everyone just be patient. We will all get it eventually. And I will see you in the next video. Arno, for the love, get off the pot. Good life lesson.